It is a beautiful day for baseball here at historic Russell E. Diethrich Ballpark in Jamestown, New York, as the Niagara Americans come in to take on your Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Hello again and welcome to another Tarp Skunks broadcast. I'm Dre Guinness alongside Jalen Ferguson. And Jalen, it is a beautiful day for baseball, and I think a beautiful day for getting back to basics.
Yeah, it is. It's getting back to basics, not just for the team, but for all of us, even in this booth here. We're getting back to the swing of things.
You know, last night, a rather disheartening loss to the Niagara Falls Americans. The Tarp Skunks holding on to a 6-3 lead, but ultimately falling 9-8. A number of things went wrong yesterday, and it's difficult to blame it solely on the players. It's difficult to blame it solely on the field. You know, I mentioned yesterday in the intro that I thought it felt like a trap game. For the first 3 innings, it didn't seem like that, but as the game went on, it seemed like that mentality of looking past Niagara Falls to tonight's game may have started to catch up with them a little bit.
Yeah, it is. I will say it's been a pattern these last 4 games of starting out strong, having a strong lead, and then just the train running off the tracks here, losing the lead. You had a 7-3 lead, and then just lose it towards the end.
So again, we talked about going back to fundamentals, back to basics, and there are a few injuries that are being nursed here tonight, as well as a few players unavailable due to personal commitments, people's graduations, and things of that nature. So Joe Riedebach going back to the traditional 9 in the starting lineup instead of 10, no extra hitter in the lineup. Do you think that and going back to what everybody's used to with the 9 hitting lineup and just trying to focus on what got them to a league best at the time 11-2 start on the season, this is a good approach to do that?
Well, I mean, like you said, you got a lot of players out. You got, you have to work with the team you got right now. So with 9 here, I think the players here in this 9, they're going to have to buckle down, find a way to win. You're going to have some more at-bats, or at least an extra at-bat now that you have one less. So they're really going to have to use this opportunity and use these at-bats wisely.
So as they get set to announce the starting lineups here, Jeremy Becker, the PA announcer, handling duties as expertly as usual. We'd like to remind you that the Tarp Skunks are off tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. And I think that's a good time in the season to get that rest in for everybody and kind of reset themselves mentally. They'll be on the road next Tuesday at Niagara Falls, and that means Jalen and I will be on the road with the team as well, bringing you that game on the Tarp Skunks YouTube channel. Off on Wednesday, and then back here next Thursday as the Batavia Muck Dogs come into town for their first visit of the season. Tarp Skunks and Batavia 1-1 against each other at Dwyer Stadium in Batavia, and it is going to be a buyout night, so you're going to want to make your plans to come on down to the ballpark and support your Tarp Skunks as we get ready to close out the first half of the season. Interesting pitching matchup here tonight, Jalen. It's going to be a rematch of just the other night on Tuesday night. Let's see. Yeah, going back to, when was it? Last Saturday, where it was Cal Noonan and Ryan Tater.
Yeah, and I think Noonan will want that rematch.
We'll talk about that and more. We're going to step away for the national anthem.
USA Police Community as we honor America with playing of our national anthem.
Back in 90 seconds with the starting lineups in the first pitch in just a moment.
And back here in Diethrich Park, let's give you the starting lineup for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Here on defense, from left to right in the outfield, it's Traumer, Moore, and Weeks. In the infield, from left to right, it is Jordan, Enders, Kiefer, and Muncie. And then behind the dish, it is Fetchick. And on the mound, it is Tatar. And here is Drake Guinness to tell you his splits.
All right, Ryan Tatar on the mound for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. No record with an 8.22 ERA in 7.2 thirds innings. He's given up 12 hits, 9 runs, 7 of those earned, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts, and he will face the starting lineup of Landon Pritchard in center field. Batting second, Cooper Martin, the third baseman. Batting third, Ronan Glassford will be the first baseman. Kieran Cutler will be the fourth place hitter at cleanup. Batting fifth, Joshua Bullock, the designated hitter. William Maharis, the left fielder, batting sixth. Jordan Gallo, the right fielder, bats 7. Jordan Svindelis, thank you. I ran into a blank there as the first pitch to Prashad outside for a ball, and the count goes 1-0. He will bat 8th and play second base. Bryce Bedrosian, the extra hitter, will bat 9th, and Franklin Griffin will bat 3rd as there's a ground ball to second, picked up by Kiefer, throws on to first, and quickly one away, and that is the way that the Tarp Skunks want to get this ball game started.
Yeah, that is exactly what they want to do. Easy ground balls. Like we said in the beginning, back to basics. Just focus and be calm and make routine plays.
As Cooper Martin stands in now, the Ironbacks third baseman coming in batting .424 on the season. And the first pitch, right down the heart for a strike. 0-1 the count.
You know, you talk about how the Ironbacks have never beaten the Tarp Skunks in their whole franchise history. But this is a team that you cannot take lightly.
Absolutely not. This is a different team than it was last year's. That one missing out 1-1. Last year, they only had a couple of months really to recruit, so they didn't have as much time really to build a team with depth. This year, obviously, they had the same amount of time as everyone else, as Tatar misses, and it's 2-1. And, you know, the difference in the record is clear. You know, they come in at 4-8, as that one catches the zone, 2-2. But, you know, last year at this point in the season, I think they went 0-9 before they won their first game. So, you know, it's definitely an improvement. This is a dangerous team, as that one's fouled back.
You talk about dangerous teams. I mean, the first game that these two teams met each other this season, that one ended 2-1. And of course, the last game last week, that one, the Ironbacks had a pretty good first inning.
As there's a line drive up the middle, that is a base hit. So Martin is aboard with one out, and that's going to bring up Ronan Glassford. Left-handed hitter, batting .313. Ironbacks bringing a lot of lefties here against the right-handed Tatar.
I think that is strategy. Want to jump on the right-handed pitcher early.
First pitch, swing and a miss. And Tatar ahead, 0-1. But yeah, continue your point about the last game between these two.
Yeah, the last game, I mean, how the Tarp Skunks were able to strike first quick and early in the first inning, but then the Tarp Skunks were able to come back.
Lined into left field, going back on it is Weeks, takes a couple of steps, and puts it away for out number 2. Yeah, and this is a pitching rematch between Tatar and the Ironback starting pitcher, Cal Noonan. And if you remember, there was action in the bullpen after Heath Fetchick hit a double to tie up the ball game at 3 apiece, and Paul Delanto putting one over the blue median left him in one hitter too late. And you got to think that Noonan has a little bit of revenge on his mind. That one glancing right off the head of Kieran Cutler, hit by pitch with 2 outs, 2 on.
And that is the second time we've seen a player get hit in the head. Last night it was to the Tarp Skunks, but this time it was towards the Ironbacks.
And none of that ever you're going to get some people out there on the internet that are immediately going to start saying, oh, that was intentional. There's no way that anyone's throwing at anyone's head in this league for any reason. First and second. First pitch to Joshua Bullock, the designated hitter, misses high for a ball, 1-0. For Bullock comes in batting .458 on the season. Tatar would like to get out of this inning right here, 2 down. So breaking ball misses off the plate. And the count goes 2-0.
Yeah, like you said, you want to. This is the kind of situation that we saw last night. 2 outs and 2 on. You really need to get out of these innings when you have runners in scoring position.
2-0 swing and a miss. Tatar coming in with that hard fastball on the hands to the left-handed hitter. And now 2-1. Swing and a miss on the 2-1 pitch. And now Tatar back in the driver's seat. 2-2, 2 outs. 2 runners on here in the top of the first inning.
It was good how Tatar was able to fight back in this account.
Gets the pitch he likes. Comes set, kicks and throws. And the pitch, swing and a miss. And the side is retired. No runs on no hits, 2 lefts. And we go to the bottom of the first inning. Niagara nothing, and the Tarp Skunks coming to bat. Bottom of the first inning here at Russell E. Diethrich Park. No score between the Ironbacks and the Tarp Skunks. Here's the starting lineups tonight for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Leading off at center field is going to be Grant Moore. Eric Weeks will be in right field batting second. Heath Fetchick behind the dish will bat third. Nate Muncy at first in the cleanup spot. The shortstop Jackson Enders will bat fifth. Caleb Jordan batting sixth and at third base. Left fielder Anthony Trommer will bat seventh. Designated hitter Joaquin Rodriguez Costa, GRC, checking in the eighth slot. And Tito Kiefer will bat ninth for the Tarp Skunks, and they will face Cal Noonan for the Niagara Ironbacks.
And Cal Noonan, the righty out of Linden, Ontario, out of University of Mary. He comes in with 0-2 record, a 4.22 ERA, 10-2 innings pitched, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, or 8 strikeouts.
And quickly 1-1 to Grant Moore. And lefty on lefty here to start the ball game for the Skunks. Again, a good day to get back to the fundamentals of baseball.
They really do need to get back to the fundamentals of baseball. You know, the errors, the being able to get on base when you really need it, really need to start things off.
2-1 to Moore, squares to bunt and pulls back, takes the pitch on the outside corner. And the count goes 2-2.
You know, and recently in games, it's kind of evened out with Moore. Had a very fast start, and that's starting to slow down just a little bit.
That one fouled off, and so we'll do 2-2 all over again.
Well, hopefully Grant Moore can do what Grant Moore does and get on base.
Well, this is the part of the season where scouting reports really start to take effect. And, you know, earlier, teams were just throwing pitches up for Moore. There's a fly ball out to left field, but Maharis backs up underneath and makes the catch for the first out. And with one away, that's going to bring up the right fielder, Eric Weeks.
This will be an interesting at-bat. Eric Weeks, I mean, you talk about scouting reports. Eric Weeks has been tearing the cover off the ball in recent games.
Coming in batting .400, takes the first pitch he sees up for a ball, and it's 1-0.
And last week, he had a batting average of 611.
That one outside for a ball, 2-0. 611 batting average over 5 games. 11 for 18, 6 runs, 6 RBIs, 6 stolen bases. He picked up a stolen base yesterday as that one's popped up Behind first base, long run for everybody, and it's going to drop foul just out of the reach.
And that is really good that one dropped foul. I mean, you don't want to end this at bat just quickly. That was kind of the thing that we saw last night. These quick at bats, those 1, 2, 3 innings. You want to prolong the at bat, run up the pitcher's count as much as possible.
Yeah, we saw a number of pop-ups last night that just caused a lot of frustration for the Tarp Skunks hitters.
It did, and not only that, the wind. It's not as windy tonight, but yesterday.
Still a bit windy as that one misses out. 3-1 now. You know, yesterday we were looking at gusts between 20 and 35 miles an hour. A little bit lighter today, just 10 to 15. As the 3-1 is flown out to right field. Underneath it is Gallo, and he puts it away for out number 2. And with 2 away, that's going to bring up the catcher, Heath Fetchick.
And we also talk about others. Heath Fetchick had a slow start to the season, but now he has been on fire at the plate.
Fetchick coming in, batting .297. Waits in the first pitch, watching it sail off the plate and on the outside, 1-0. Nate Muncy on deck, would hit next if Fetchick is able to extend this inning. There's a drive out to center field. Prashad backing up underneath it and makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the top of the second inning. No score here in Jamestown.
And we're back here to start at the top of the second inning. Still 0-0. Tatar up to the mound, and he will face Maharas, Gallows, and Svindalis. And here to tell you all about it, it is Dragonus.
All right, thank you very much, Jalen. As we do head to the top of the second inning, quick start to this ball game. As Tatar on the mound for his second inning of work. William Harris, the left fielder, stands in. He comes in with a 200 average, sitting right at the Mendoza line. Where's the number 32 and stands in? And Tatar, he's going to come out of the windup. First pitch is going to be up high for a ball, 1-0.
I remember Maddie last night talking about how pitchers come from the wind. Well, they're starting now from the stretch more than the windup. That's something I always wondered.
That one missing outside, 2-0.
It's like, how does that feel? For me, when I was a pitcher, I liked from the windup, but we used to get a lot of base runners, so you would mostly be in the stretch most of the time.
Yeah, I never liked the windup. I never did. Even just playing, as that one comes inside for a ball, 3-0. Even just playing pickup baseball, out in the park. When you're out there, you're still working on your mechanics. You know, you're out there having fun, but you're working on your mechanics. I never liked the windup. As the 3-0 pitch finds the zone, 3-1.
But I think the stretch, though, I mean, if you're like prone to having base runners, you're gonna be in the stretch anyway.
As that one on the outside corner, and the count goes full, 3-2. I mean, yeah, you're right in that regard. You know, the thing with the windup that for me, it was just way too much movement. As a sidearm thrower, yeah, I didn't like having to have all that movement. As that one taken down the middle for a called strike 3, first out of the inning, comes via the K.
Gotta love how Tatar was able to fight back from a 3-0 count to get the strikeout.
That's going to bring up Jordan Gallo, the Ironbacks right fielder, coming in batting .429, left-handed hitter.
And Tatar ended the first inning with a strikeout and starts the second with a strikeout.
As that one misses up for a ball, 1-0. But yeah, again, I mean, I always liked coming from this from the set, just because I always knew exactly the motion that I was going to follow. There's a line drive fouled on the first base line.
I will agree with you. The windup is a lot of motion and a lot of movement more than it is the stretch. But in my opinion, for me, when I was pitching, it was just very easier.
Swing and a miss, and the count quickly goes to 0-2, or 1-2.
Tatar is starting to get into a groove here in this at bat.
Well, I think my biggest issue with the windup was inconsistency with the plant foot. As the 1-2 pitch comes in, there's another foul, stay alive swing, and it stays 1-2. You know, when you're at the set, it's that same motion, and it almost becomes muscle memory. With the windup, that foot can, even if it deviates a quarter of an inch either way, that's going to throw off your delivery.
That is true.
1-2 pitch called. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Back to back here.
He's got 3 straight. 2 in this inning and 1 in the first.
And with 2 down, that's going to bring up the second baseman, Jordan Svinless. There we go. It's one of the more unusual spelled names I've seen, and yeah, we've had some fun with it. First pitch outside for a ball, 1-0.
It's one of those names. You know, we saw that back in the Americans game. A lot of those unusual names that you wouldn't regularly see.
There's the 1-0 pitch. That one at the knees for a strike, 1-1. Svinless listed as a pitcher, yeah, not a hitter per se in the stat sheet. So this would be his first at bat as a hitter, two-way player. That one on the outside corner, and Tatar is locked in here. And 1-2.
There he is. I think he just needed an inning to figure some things out. And now, hopefully, he can get a 1-2-3.
And the curveball missing just high. 2-2. And for Svinless, that tempting. You know, you get a breaking ball up in the zone like that, and you're almost tempted to swing just to see how far you could hit it. As there's a base hit into right field between first and second. So with 2 outs, the strikeout streak comes to an end. Second hit for Niagara, and that's going to bring up Bryce Bedrosian, the extra hitter.
And, you know, when the hitters are hitting it into the gaps like that, you know, there isn't much you can do about it. But, you know, you just got to focus on the next batter.
No, that's really a victory for the hitter. As the first pitch to Bedrosian, line to first, snagged by Muncie. He takes it to the bag himself, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the second inning, no score.
And welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrich Park. It is still 0-0. Cal Noonan, the starting pitcher, he will face Muncie, Enders, and Jordan. And here to tell you all about it, it is Dre Guinness.
All right, Jalen, thank you very much. As we go to the bottom of the second inning, Nate Muncie stands in after making a great defensive play to end the top of the first inning. He takes the first pitch he sees outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. For Muncie, he comes in 174, does have a 3 RBI on the season, and quickly 2-0 the count.
I think he's starting to, like I said in the last game, I think he's starting to figure something out here. He's gotten some hits in the last couple of games.
Swing at a off-speed pitch, a little bit out in front of that one. 2-1, and you'll see that a lot where, younger players, they come in, they're seeing a different level of pitching, perhaps for the first time. Some of them take a little bit longer to figure it out than others, but eventually they do, as Muncie takes the count to 3-1. Jackson Enders on deck. And the 3-1 way off the plate. And a leadoff walk for Nate Muncie puts a runner on with nobody out. And the Tarp Skunks shortstop, Jackson Enders, coming up to the plate.
That's good. The Tarp Skunks now have their first base runner of the ball game. Hopefully Jackson Enders can drive one or advance the runner any way, shape, or form.
So for Enders, he comes in, batting 200 on the season, right at the Mendoza line. And the first pitch comes in, and that one's popped straight up. A little bit into foul territory. Coming over is Glassford, and in foul territory makes the catch for the first out. One pitch, one away for Enders. And that is going to bring up Caleb Jordan.
Yeah, and that was kind of something that we saw last game. And another pop-up. It's something that's kind of moved over into this game.
So now Caleb Jordan stands in. Jordan also a little slow out of the gate, 171 average. He takes the first pitch he sees inside for a ball, 1-0. But as you mentioned, as of late, starting to come around a little bit. Muncie taking a conservative lead off of first base, and a quick check over there. And nothing doing.
That outfield, they had a workout in the first inning.
Yeah, the right fielder Gallo playing actually rather deep, shading toward right center. There's that one missing off the plate, 2-0. Center straight away, left field. Maharis is playing pretty deep. He's about 30 feet from the warning track. So respecting a little bit of the opposite field power for Caleb Jordan as that one misses. And the count goes 3-0.
I got to respect the grounds crew bringing back the outfield circle. I always love that.
Oh, yeah. And got to thank the rain for keeping it lush and green here. 3-0, red light on, and Jordan will take the walk. 2 on, 1 out, both via the walk, and that'll bring up Anthony Traumer.
That's one thing about the Tarp Skunks is being able to draw walks. I think they're up there in terms of drawing walks in the league. And that's part of the reason why in most of these games you see them have more runs than they do hits, because they're able to get on base.
As Anthony Traumer stands in, he comes in with a runner in scoring position. Hitting 174 in the season, does have 4 RBIs. And this is something that's kind of been an issue for the Tarp Skunks here as of late. You get the runners in scoring position and haven't been able to bring as many home as you should be able to. At least as many home as they were able to in the first week of the season. So runners take their lead. And the first pitch is way off the plate for a ball, 1-0. JRC on deck. No score here in the bottom of the second inning from Russell E. Diethrich Park in Jamestown, New York. Glad to have you here with us here tonight. That one on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. We'd like to say hello to all of our friends up in Canada who are watching their Ironbacks on our broadcast. We appreciate you coming out and checking us out. 1-1. Trummer got hit in the head yesterday. Looking to put a sting on a baseball here. That one misses just up and away, 2-1.
Yeah, Trommer, he's due for a hit. Hopefully, I mean, he has Muncie in scoring position and Caleb Jordan at first.
2-1 pitch grounded toward short. This could be 2 to second for 1. No, it's bobbled. It's bobbled on the transition. So they will get the runner at second. Advancing to third is Muncie, and I can't be mad at that call. I can't disagree with it. It could have been a double play. It would have been close at first.
It would have been close. Trommer was definitely on his horse. I think he could have beat it.
So now first and third to the left-handing hitting JRC. As the first pitch to him misses for a ball, 1-0.
You know, when it comes to left-handed batters, you would think the outfield would pull towards the right.
That one way off the plate, 2-0.
But Gallows is still a little bit near the scoreboard.
And the 2-0 pitch, that one catches the outside corner for a strike, 2-1, and it looks like they're going to live on the outside corner to JRC. If you're JRC, might be wanting to look to take something the other way down the third base line. Snap throw over to first, almost gets away from Glassford at first.
Yeah, that outfield, they're very narrow in on each other, very close to each other.
2-1. There's a ground ball foul down the first baseline, and the count evens up at 2 apiece.
I like how he was able to pull that. Unfortunately, that was fouled, but if he wants to pull it, I mean, down the left and right sides, that could be some extra bases there.
JRC's going to have to tighten up here, protect with 2 strikes. The pitch comes in. There's a line drive into right field. That is a base hit. Coming in to score is Muncie. Going all the way to third is Anthony Trommer, and JRC with an RBI single, and the Tarp Skunks take a 1-0 lead.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like I said, pulling it down the right and left field lines, and that's exactly what he did, getting an RBI single, being able to drive in Nate Muncie.
And that's the kind of life that will bring life into the dugout. 2-out single to take the lead, and that's going to bring up Tito Kiefer. As for Kiefer, he takes the first pitch he sees for a strike. Kiefer's really come on as of late. That one missing way off the plate. 1-1. For Kiefer coming in batting .357 with 4 RBIs, has a chance to knock in another one here. That one missing inside and tight. And the count goes 2-1.
You say he's really come in as a hitter. Not only that, but as a shortstop as well. They have him playing at second, but he has been very good defensively.
There's a weak chopper fouled at the plate, and the count goes 2-2. You know, that was always a something that a lot of the coaches that I knew and grew up around always looking for in their middle infielders is the ability to switch between short and second. I never had that ability. I was a second baseman and the occasional pitcher. As the 2-2 comes in, breaking ball misses out. 3-2, a delayed steal and a very bad throw down to second base, gets into center field, and coming in to score on the error is Anthony Trommer, and it is now 2-0.
I love that base running IQ. I mean, I don't think Noonan would have thought JRC to steal, and they fell for it. He brought in, his job was to bring in Trommer, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, and the catcher Cutler throwing it to nobody covering. That's how much it caught everyone off guard as that pitch comes in, and ball 4, Kiefer aboard via the walk, and that is going to put first and second for the top of the order in Grant Moore.
And I hope that JRC just did a side quest. I don't know if that was a side quest for him, but he's got himself a steal now.
That's the Xbox achievement unlocked right there. Squares the bunt. Beautiful bunt down the third base line. Bare hand and no throw to first. Grant Moore with an infield single. Loads the bases on the first pitch he sees. Martin was playing back, had to charge it on the bare hand, but by the time he got it, he had no play anywhere.
I love it. Grant Moore in these last recent games have been trying to square down a bunt. Hasn't been able to do it. He finally does it, and it was beautiful in a great spot, and he beats it out.
As now we're going to have a conference at the mound as the pitching coach for the Niagara Ironbacks going to come out and try to get Noonan to settle down here. 2 runs already given up, and even with 2 outs, the heart of the order, Eric Weeks coming to the plate, and Heath Fetchick behind him. This could result in either a stellar Houdini job to get out of the inning, or this game could be busted open early on in the second.
Well, like I said, Noonan has to remember Weeks or how he was able to drive in runs in their last meeting.
Yeah, he had a double and a single with an RBI the last time they faced.
So I think Noonan remembers Weeks very well.
And there's no place to put him. So it's going to be challenge versus challenge here. Noonan gets his sign, kicks and throws in the first pitch. Curveball drops for a ball, 1-0.
I knew that was an off-speed pitch, but that one dropped at the last minute.
Yeah, like a stone before it could cross the plate. Otherwise, if it had another half a second, that might have been called a strike. That one misses for a ball. And quickly 2-0, and Eric Weeks in a driver's seat right now with a great hitter's count.
You know, usually I would say pitch around Weeks if you're trying to, but bases are loaded. You're just going to have to go after them.
The 2-0 pitch. Little check swing that's kind of into no man's land. Picked up at second, throw on to first just in time. And the inning is over. But the Tarp Skunks do put 2 up on 2 hits. Bases left loaded. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. It's 2-0 Jamestown. Two nothing Tarp Skunks with the lead as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Ryan Tatar on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. He will face Griffin, then back to the top of the order for Prashad and Martin. And here to tell you about it, it's Jalen Ferguson.
I'm back on the comm.
You have the concert.
On top of the third for the Niagara Ironbacks. The shortstop.
So Franklin Griffin,
Number 0.
in his last game, he went 1 for 3 with a single. And so hopefully, not hopefully, but let's see what he does.
Hitting 200 right at the Mendoza line.
That one misses for a ball. 1-0 the count to Griffin. And Tatar putting up 2 zeros here. It's a really good start for him.
That one missing.
And that one is for a ball inside. 2-0 the count. And so Tatar's going to have to fight back into this count. Put something in the zone here. And again, another one inside for a ball. Having some problems with the location. And he's going to have to put the one into the zone for this one. 3-0. And that one in there for a strike.
There we go. That's one thing that we've seen a lot of, though. You know, even though Skunks do have a tendency to go 3-0 on hitters, you don't see a lot of 4-pitch walks. It's a lot of fight back.
That one fouled. And so now the count is full, 3-2.
We see a lot of this as well. You know, they'll go 3-0 and be able to fight back to take the count full.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, like, you don't see 4-pitch walks that much, but it does run up the pitch count when it's full. As that one misses for a ball, and so Griffin walks. He will be the first base runner here in the top of the third, and that's going to bring us back to the top of the lineup. It is London Prashad.
Going back to the last inning, we had originally tagged the catcher Cutler with an error on the throw down to second on the JRC steal. And the error not charged, so we took it off.
That one. That was a blooper foul down the third base side.
Nice play by the third base coach to get a mid on it. And by mid, I mean bare hand. Not that hard hit. We saw one last night that bounced over Caleb Jordan's head last night that went fair just like that.
Yeah, that was the 8th inning. So 0-1. That one inside for a ball. 1-1 the count.
You know, and you can definitely see a difference from last night to tonight in the way that the field's playing. The infield dirt's a little bit harder. You know, with the lawn being mowed today, that ball going a little faster on the infield grass.
That one fouled, hit the press box on the right side, and so now it is 1-2. Lyndon Prashad, in his last at-bat, grounded out to second. So he is 0 for 1. And faces a 1-2 count to Tatar. And the pitch. And that one in there for strike 3. And so Prashad sat down on strikes. And that's going to bring up Cooper Martin.
Yeah, Prashad didn't like that call either. He tried to spin out of the way, tried to sell it as too far inside, and hopefully an umpire not buying today.
And so Cooper Martin hit a single in his last at bat. Both teams with 2 hits. And that one in there for a strike. 1-1.
Man.
Oh, and he just gave the Ironbacks a warning. I think there was something said.
You know, that is the first time in 3 years that I've actually seen that happen here.
I know there's time to time there'd be some barking, but you know, that one in the dirt, swing and a miss for strike 2. You know, there'd be some barking, but I have never seen an umpire give a warning. Not even when the coaches are upset, they give them a warning.
You know, that's usually done when the chirping crosses the line.
That one back up the middle. Enders on the cannot get a glove on it. It gets past Enders, and so that would could be an infield single. We'll see if he gets the error or the infield. Nope, they gave him a hit, so that is an infield single.
Yeah, that ball, I don't think Enders would have had a chance on it anyways. Forget his speed and athleticism and everything else. That ball was just hit too weakly to make an effective play.
So that's going to bring up Ronan Glassford, the first baseman. As he flew out to right field in his last at-bat. He faces runners on first and third. That one misses for a ball. First and second, I should say.
Glassford flew out to right his first time up. He also made a great defensive play on a pop-up in foul territory.
That one gets past. Both runners advance on the passed ball.
And that could have been kind of dangerous for the Ironbacks. As Martin took off, he had to tell Griffin to go because Griffin maybe fell asleep at second base, wasn't paying attention at the time.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous. Heath Fetchett could have threw it to third if he had more time. That one in there for a strike. 2-1. And so Tatar now has both runners in scoring position. That one misses for a ball. 3-1, and that was pretty close.
It was pretty close, but notice you didn't hear any chirping out of the Tarp Skunks dugout. I think that's not so much that they're agreeing with the call, but with that warning, they don't want one thrown their way.
That one in the dirt for a ball, and so Glassford gets on base, and that will load the bases. So that's going to bring in Kieran Cutler. And Kieran Cutler hit a home run in his last game, and now he comes in as he's hit by the pitch in his last at-bat. And Joe Riedebach coming out to talk to Tatar.
Yeah, no action that I can see in the Tarp Skunks bullpen. I don't think they have anyone warmed and ready. This is more of a positioning where the ball's going to go, who you're going to throw to, making sure everybody's on the same page. I'd like to take this opportunity to let you know that the next time the Jamestown Tarp Skunks are in action is next Tuesday in Niagara Falls, 6:30. And it will be broadcast from Sal Magley Stadium here on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks YouTube channel. And then we're back home next Thursday against the Batavia Muck Dogs, 6:30 p.m. It's free ticket night presented by JCC. You're going to want to come down and enjoy free admission to the ball game as the Tarp Skunks welcome in their arch rivals. Their
misses for a ball. So it is 1-0 the count to Kieran Cutler. Kieran Cutler still doesn't have an at-bat as he was hit by the pitch in his last one. That one in there for a strike, 1-1.
This would be a good test for the middle infield on a ground ball double play right here. Turn 2, get out of the inning. Although Jordan and JRC playing... Well, JRC's on the infield grass.
That one in the dirt. That one gets past Fetchik. Run, and a close throw to the plate. Not in time. Ironbacks gets one score answered as it is 2-1 in the top of the third.
Yeah, Martin will move to third, Glassford to second. That opens up first base, but that was a close play. Just a little bit too late getting the ball to the plate.
So Martin at third, Glassford at second. And that one comes in and hits Kieran Cutler for the second time in this game. And now the umpire is giving Tatar the ball. But yeah, So now the bases will be loaded once again, and that's going to bring in Joshua Bullock, as he struck out in his last at-bat.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of emotion happening down here on the field, so I just wanted to make sure that everything has a chance to settle down.
So now we're going to reset. 0-0 to Bullock. Is that one up high for a ball?
And it looks like we are getting action in the Skunks bullpen.
So 1-0 to Joshua Bullock. That one misses again. 2-0.
And Tatar's been missing up lately.
So Cooper Martin at third, Rashford at second, Glassford at second, Cutler at first. That one misses for a ball. 3-0 the count.
Yeah, and Tatar's getting close to that 60 pitch mark.
Really?
Yeah, that was pitch number 57.
Man. So 3-0 to Bullock. And that one's in there for a strike, 3-1.
They gotta have it.
You did gotta have it. That one was inside. Just a little bit. So 3-1. Hopefully Tatar can fight back in this count. That one in the dirt. A run is going to score. So now we are back tied. It is 2 apiece. As Cooper Martin is the one to come in a score off the walk. So that's going to bring in Williams Mahares.
Yeah, Tatar cruised the first 2 innings, and then things just started to fall apart. A walk, a strikeout, a base hit, a walk hit by pitch, and a walk brings in a run.
And I think that it's been, that's the key to these games. That one inside and up for a ball. It's important, those free passes. I said this back in Olean. It's amazing how much momentum one base runner can give.
Noonan had his Houdini moment in the bottom of the second. Tatar needs his here.
Swing and a miss at the ball in the dirt. It is 1-1 the count.
He's worked himself into a big jam here. And this is going to be a good test to see if he's able to work out of it.
How this inning goes will probably dictate how long he lasts. But like you said, he's probably over 60 pitches now. That one in the dirt for a ball. And I'm not going to lie. If I'm Fetchick, I would talk to Tatar, see what's up.
Yeah, it looks more mechanical than anything right now, but he is all over the place. Lost the strike zone here.
I think I remember similar situation the last time these two teams met. That one outside for a ball. 3-1. And what you don't want is another walk.
Yeah, and Tatar has to come in with something here, and Maharis knows it.
Even if he hits it, as long as that was in the zone. That one in the zone for a strike, and it is a full count now to Maharis.
Well, now Tatar's got to reach back for another one just like that. Don't try to get too fancy with it. Just come in, pitch to contact, and let your defense bail you out.
So full count now to Maharis. That one's contact, and that one gets through for a base hit for Maharis. No runner coming around third. It is now a 3-2 ball game. Ironbacks take the lead. Put up 3 runs in this third frame. So that's going to bring in Jordan Gallo.
So give Maharis an RBI, back-to-back RBI at bats here. And Joe Riedebox coming out, and that's going to be all for Ryan Tatar.
So Ryan Tatar, he is done for the day. We'll get you the new pitcher after this.
New Tarp Skunks pitcher is going to be Camp Churchill. He comes in with a 3-0 record. He's making his 6th appearance on the season. 3.65 ERA in 12 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 of those earned. He has walked 7 and struck out 9, and he will be responsible for clearing the mess that was left on base. And an unfortunate ending to what was shaping up to be an excellent start for Ryan Tatar.
Yeah, but now at Camp Churchill, like you said, this is his 6th game appearing in. That went in the zone for a strike. And he has been shown to be the more reliable pitcher when it comes to getting out of a jam, as he faces Jordan Gallo. That one in the dirt for a ball. 1-1 the count.
Churchill's not going to overwhelm you with his power, but he does have deceptive breaking stuff, deceptive off-speed stuff. A little bit of a different change in dynamic from Tatar.
That one gets through for a base hit. Coming in is Cutler. Throw to the plate is cut off by Muncie, and now it is a 4-2 ball game. Ironbacks are up by 2.
And another base hit right in the same spot that Maharis got it between first and second. And they've been playing station to station. The only bright spot to this whole situation is they've only been able to move 90 feet at a time.
You know, just moving in one runner at a time. The first pitch to Jordan Svindelis is called strike. So 0-1 the count. That one down low for a ball, 1-1.
4 runs on 3 hits this inning.
Ironbacks got 5 in the game. No errors by either team.
Oh, that's questionable.
That one gets through for a base hit for Svindelis, and it gets past Weeks. And so 2 runs are going to score. And so now it is a 6-2 ball game. Ironbacks.
And the wheel's just completely coming off, and it's the same thing. Everyone is going opposite field to right field, driving in runs. That time 2 came in.
So now runners At second and third, that's going to bring in Bryce Bedrosian.
And for the Ironbacks, this is the 10th batter, and they're setting up to the plate.
That one is in there for a strike. And they're aiming for that spot between Kiefer and Muncie. That is the third base hit through that area. And so 0-1 the count, swing and a miss. And so now it is 0-2. Camp Churchill ahead in this count. So 0-2. And a strikeout to Bryce Bedrosian. And finally, they get their second out. And so coming to the plate for the second time this inning, it's Franklin Griffin.
That breaks a string of 7 straight Ironback hitters. And this will also flip the lineup card over. Griffin's second at bat this inning.
So that one misses for a ball. Griffin, he drew a walk earlier in this inning and came around to score. The first pitch was for a ball. Here's the second one. And that one fouled to the backstop. Or I think I'm a pitch ahead. I think it's 0-1.
I've got 1-1.
Okay, 1-1.
No confirmation from the home plate umpire yet, so.
1-1 to Griffin. Swing and a miss by Griffin. And so Camp Churchill looking for the pitch that gets them out of this inning.
Yeah, it is 1-2. Got confirmation there.
So 1-2. That one outside for a ball. 2-2. So Gallows at third, Svindelis at second. The 2-2 outside. And if you're Camp Churchill, you do not want to lose this at bat. Starting it out 0-2, and now we're working it into a full count. And that one made contact towards Enders, throws on the first in time, and he gets the out. But that was a monster inning. 4 hits, 6 runs come across. We go to the bottom of the third. It is 6-2.
As we go to the bottom of the third inning, 6-2 Ironbacks with the lead over the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Back on the mound is Cal Noonan. He will face Fetchick, Muncie, and Enders. And back to the microphone, it's Jalen Ferguson.
Hopefully the Tarp Skunks can get something started here. Heath Fetchick fouling off the first pitch. That last inning, I mean, you as a player, you want to forget about it. And Heath Fetchick, as he has been playing good in recent games, he flew out to center in his last at bat. So he watches the next one for a ball.
Yeah, that's kind of the irony of being a broadcaster. The hitters, the players want to forget it. We have to dwell on it.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to dwell on it too much, though.
That one misses for a ball, 2-1. You know, as us, you know, we have to record everything that happens in this game. Well, not have to, but, you know. That one driven out to left center field. And a diving catch by Maharez. And so Heath Fetchick flies out to left field. And that's going to bring in Nate Muncie.
What a play by Maharez to rob Fetchick of a base hit there.
The first baseman, number 44, Nate Muncie.
So that'll bring in Nate Muncie, the first baseman. He walked and came around to score, putting on the first run of the ball game for the Tarp Skunks. That one driven out through the infield, and that one is a base hit for Nate Muncie. So there you go.
So Muncie on for his second time. He walked his first time up. This time gets it the hard way with a line drive base hit up the middle.
You saw that he had to stretch out and reach for that one, made contact, and lined it into center field for a base hit. So here comes the shortstop, Jackson Enders. So he watches the first one for a strike. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, Enders popped out foul to the first baseman, Glassford. Like a better result here.
And a swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. It is now 0-2 the count. Tarp Skunks with 3 hits of the ball game. Nate Muncie at first. That one popped up fouled behind the plate. Like you said, on a better result, that was another pop-up by Jackson Enders. He's going to have to straighten one out. So Enders behind in the count 0-2. Muncie at first. That one up for a ball, 1-2.
And Enders in that unenviable position where when you're struggling a bit at the bat, you just want to swing at anything that's close.
That one inside for a ball, 2-2.
And that leads to those, unfortunate foul pop outs and things like that. As a hitter, it sometimes can be difficult to get yourself back to right, no matter how much time you spend in the cage.
A swing and a miss by Jackson Enders. He sat down on strikes. And that's going to bring in Caleb Jordan, the third baseman. It's got to be really hard when now you're quickly down two outs. And you really need something going.
It's hard to build 2-out rallies. And the Skunks have been finding themselves in that position quite a bit over this last week.
That one misses for a ball. 1-0 they count. I mean, the Tarp Skunks, they did have a good first quarter of the season. But now, midway through the second quarter, kind of struggling a little bit. So that one misses for a ball.
Now, you had mentioned Joe Riedebach saying that he looks at this in 4 quarters. This is not the quarter that he probably had written up.
That one misses for a ball, 3-0. And Caleb Jordan, he walked in his last at bat, so still does not have a recorded at bat, and he's looking at it like he might not have another one. And this one, too. That one in there for a strike, 3-1.
A little bit of a generous call on the outside corner, but Noonan's earned it at this point, I think.
3-1, Muncie at first. That one made contact through the infield, throw to first. And that one will retire the side. So with no hits, no errors, we go to the top of the fourth. It is still 6-2.
Number
6-2 Ironbacks with the lead over the Jamestown Tarp Skunks as we go to the top of the fourth inning. It'll be the top of the order for Pritchard, Martin, and Glassford. And back to the microphone to call the inning is Jalen Ferguson.
Camp Churchill is coming in with a clean slate now. Nobody on, nobody out. And he lays down a bunt, but pull back. It'll still call strike anyway. Prashad. He grounded out and got a strikeout in his last two at-bats. That one is outside for a ball. 1-1. And Camp Churchill, he wants to get out of this with no harm done. It's the 1-1. And a good off-speed pitch in there for a strike. 1-2 the count.
Well, it's definitely easier for a reliever to come in the next inning after getting out of a jam that they inherited. You know, it's like you said, fresh start, fresh slate. They're in control of their own destiny.
So 1-2. That one driven out to first base as Muncie gets the pop-up for the out. So now one gone here in the top of the fifth, or top of the fourth. That's going to bring in Cooper Martin.
Martin on the day 2 for 2, couple singles, scored a run back in the third inning. Scored the tying run back in the third inning.
Camp Churchill, he is expected to eat up a lot of innings here.
Well, Coach Joe needs him to at this point.
That one is in there for a strike. And speaking of relievers, there is action in the Niagara Falls bullpen. Two pitchers were warming up in there, but now there's one.
Looks a little bit more just stretching out.
That one driven out to right field. Weeks on the run, and he makes a running catch down the right field side. And so now there are two gone here in the top of the fourth. That's going to bring in Ronan Glassford, as he flew out to right field and got a walk. He also came around to score.
A lot of balls for the Ironbacks hit out to right field here tonight.
That one driven out to right field again. Weeks on the run and has to stretch and make a good stretching effort to make the catch. So the Ironbacks go down 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the fourth. It is 6-2.
Anthony Trummer set to lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and here to tell you all about it is Jalen Ferguson.
That one driven out to third base, and that one in time for the out. And so quickly one away on the first pitch as he pulled that one towards Martin.
Yeah, Martin kind of a little bit of that ole with the eyes closed. Look what I found as the ball found his glove.
That's going to bring up Joaquin Rodriguez Costa, JRC, as that one. And that one gets down for a base hit. Spindless tried to make a diving effort, could not come up with it. And so now we are at the bottom of the lineup. It is Tito Kiefer.
Yeah, and for JRC, 2 for 2 today with an RBI. So JRC having himself a bit of a day. Kiefer walked back in the second inning. That helped set up the first couple runs of the ball game.
He was able to bring in Traumer. That's how that RBI scored. Is that one? It's for a ball, 1-0. And JRC doing his dance at first. Laid down a bunt, did not pull it back. It is strike one.
An interesting strategy to try to drop down a bunt. JRC, big, tall guy, not the fastest guy on the base paths, but now Martin playing in, and they're going to take a look at JRC over at first. Martin now playing in on the infield grass, and that actually might have been more strategic for Tito Kiefer to draw Martin in and then see if he can lace one over his head down the line.
That one in there for a strike, 1-2. And if you remember, JRC with the early break, being able to catch the offense sleeping and bringing in Traumer. That one outside for a ball. 2-2 the counts, and Noonan did not like it.
As the sounds of America ring through Russell E. Diethrich.
And a strikeout for Tito Kiefer, and he did not like that one. So there are 2 away here, and we roll it up back to the top of the lineup. It is Grant Moore.
Yeah, I'm a little befuddled at some of those calls. Those were definitely in off the black. But again, when you're dealing like Noonan, home plate umpires are going to give you things they normally wouldn't.
So here comes Grant Moore. Watches the off-speed in there for a strike. Grant Moore flew out to right, but he got a single. And now he faces an 0-1 count. And that one back up the middle, throws from Svindlis, and he gets him out at first. So with one hit, one left on, we go to the top of the fifth. It is still 6-2. Here we are in the top of the fifth. It is 6-2. Camp Churchill will face Cutler, Bullock, and Maharas. And here to tell you all about it, it is Dre Guinness.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. As the Tarp Skunks have some work to do to get themselves back into this game, trailing 6-2 after a 6-run outburst back in the third inning.
You know, and hopefully the Tarp Skunks can be that team to come back.
As Churchill's second pitch of the inning misses quickly, the count 2-0 to Kieran Cutler. It'll be Cutler, Bullock, and Maharas due up here.
You know, the Tarp Skunks have been on the receiving end of a comeback. Hopefully they can be the one to do that.
That one's fouled down the first base side, and the count goes 2-1. You know, it was a good inning for Churchill last inning. See if he can follow it up with another one here.
Yeah, sat them down 1-2-3.
That one catching the outside corner quickly, the count 2-2.
So Camp Churchill, hopefully he can extend that momentum from the last inning into this one.
Churchill comes set, the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back, and we'll do 2-2 all over again. 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Ironbacks. 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors for the Tarp Skunks, as we're in the top of the 5th inning in a pretty briskly moving ball game here. The 2-2 pitch. There's a pop-up to second base. Kiefer settles under it, and quickly there is one away. And we'll take this opportunity to tell you this copyrighted broadcast of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks Baseball is presented by authority of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other uses of the descriptions or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is prohibited.
You talk about going back to the basics. You've finally been doing that again.
Well, you know, I was reminded that I need to do that for radio. Not so much the YouTube, but definitely the radio. That one missing outside for a ball, 1-1. Intellectual property protection is essentially what it is. And a bunch of other legal stuff that I have no idea about. 1-1. The line drive up the middle of that is a 1-out single. for Joshua Bullock.
And did you see that? That touched the glove of Churchill. But that one still came off the bat a little fast.
So now 1 on 1 out. That's going to bring up William Maharis. Struck out looking his first time up. Single, drove in a run. And now what we got going on here? We got a little bit of a timeout as the third base coach went out on the field without putting on the batting helmet. And play stopped because of that. Got to protect the noggin.
You do. You saw how many hitters got hit by the pitch.
Well, I also know how many concussions I've had in my life. That one high for a ball 1-0.
Man. What was it, 21?
21 documented concussions.
Documented. So what about the ones that weren't documented?
I don't remember.
It's a little bit of irony there.
It's just a little, yeah. 1-0 pitch in the dirt, gets behind Fetchick, and advancing over to second is Bullock. So 2-0 now with a runner in scoring position to the Ironbacks' sixth place hitter. You know, I famously told you the story about getting hit in the face with a baseball at the Oakland Coliseum. That's one. You know, and then professional wrestling was probably not the smartest thing to do to take up when I was 38. That one catches the zone, and the count goes 2-1.
Yeah, that's right. Because you said you did some work for WWE.
Well, I mean, I worked in developmental territory, Deep South Wrestling, back in 2005 to 2007 when we got shut down. Ooh, as that pitch comes in and hits Maharis right on the elbow, and he doesn't have any protection. Ooh, he's definitely feeling that one.
And that is the fifth free pass that has been given by the Tarp Skunks. And that is almost indicative on how many runs have scored.
Yeah, third hit by pitch in this game. But no, it wasn't until about 6 or 7 years after that is when I actually started training. So, you know, it's that is definitely a young man's game, and you know, end up banging your head on that mat more often than you would think.
Yeah, I think William Regal was the one that said it's a young man's game. Or did he say it was a grown man's game? I forget what he said.
I don't know. He told me something once, and I probably forgot it too. So here comes Jordan Gallo, 2 on and 1 out in the first pitch, missing for a ball, 1-0. For Gallo, struck out looking and singled in a run back in the third. Part of that 7-hitter stretch that reached base here for the Ironbacks. 1-0 pitch. That one in the dirt, gets away from Fetchick. Runner's going to head from second to third. No movement from first to second. So now runners at the corner is Bullock now at third. And quickly the count goes to 2-0.
You know, talk about how the next 3 days they have off. Could it be a little bit of tiredness? Not tiredness, but a little bit of fatigue setting in very quickly on the Tarp Skunks.
Oh, I would say so. I think these 3 days off are going to be well earned, well used. I don't expect them to do any sort of baseball activity tomorrow. If they do any on Sunday, it's going to be light and then back to business on Monday. So there's a line drive out into right field. That's going to get over Weeks' head and go all the way to the wall. 1 run scores. The throw's going to come in all the way, and no one's there to cut it off. That's going to allow a second run to come in, and it's now 8-2.
And man, you know, I haven't seen a game like this since Olean. They came to us. Yeah, I've never seen a game like this since Olean.
And, you know, we talked about getting back to fundamentals. The fundamentals just completely missed there as nobody went out to right field to play cutoff man, which allowed another run to score. Now 8-2 here. As that ball's in the dirt. It's Finless. He's already 2 for 2 on the day, 2 singles, 2 RBIs, and he's ahead in the count 1-0. Here's action in the Skunks bullpen. So there's a drive out into right center field. That one's going to head out to the gap, and that one is going to split the gap. Coming in to score is Gallo, pulling into second with his 3rd hit of the day is Finless. And it just keeps getting uglier and uglier for Jamestown here. It is now 9-2.
Well, again, like I said, if they're driving it into the spots, there really isn't much you can do about it. But the thing is, though, is those free passes and how many runs are coming in to score. I mean, they're allowing them to get RBIs off of runners that have been given.
And Fetchick's going to go out there and have a conversation with Camp Churchill, and you almost have to think that this was called by Coach Joe from the dugout to try to give his bullpen a little bit of extra time to get ready here.
Yeah, to give them more time to warm up there. If he put them in now, they wouldn't be warm enough.
So that's going to bring up Bryce Bedrosian. Bedrosian, one of the few Ironbacks who don't have a hit in this ball game. Rounded out to 3rd and struck out looking.
I know he wants to join the hit parade.
First pitch to Churchill. That one misses for a ball, 1-0, and it looks like Churchill's laboring here.
And for the Ironbacks, the runs are mimicking the hits. 9 runs on 9 hits.
So the 1-0 count coming in. There's a chopper toward 3rd. Picked up by Muncie. He's going to take it to the bag himself just in time for the out.
Yeah,
Moving.
I was going to say, that was a close play. Even I was wondering if he was going to throw it to Churchill for the sure out, but he decided to take it in himself.
So moving over to 3rd is Finless. 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Now that's going to bring up the bottom of the order, Franklin Griffin. First pitch to him, misses for a ball, 1-0. For Griffin, he's walked, scored a run back in the 3rd. He also grounded out to short to end the 3rd inning. That was his 2nd at bat of the inning. That one missing low, 2-0.
Yeah, and Griffin was the momentum starter in this hit parade back in the 3rd. Starting it off with a walk.
2-0. That one catches the strike zone, 2-1. And the pitch comes in. That one missing off the plate, 3-1.
Again, the Tarp Skunks in this game finding themselves with their backs up against the wall for a 3rd consecutive game.
And you got to think that if Churchill loses him here, that might be all for him. 3-1. Swing and a miss. It's 3-2.
Churchill isn't going to go down that easily.
Absolutely nothing doing in the Ironbacks pen. This is going to be Cal Noonan's game to go as that one misses up and in for a ball. As Griffin gets on with his 2nd walk. And Fetchick calling out the signals with 2 down here. Runners at 1st and 3rd. It's probably how they're going to handle stolen base attempt. They'll probably let him go, to be honest with you.
I think you just should. Just worry about getting that third out.
Runner goes, pitch is taken for a strike. Fetchick double pumps, throw down to second is in time. And they got the speedy Griffin, and they needed that one as 3 runs come across on 3 hits. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Niagara 9 and the Tarp Skunks 2.
And here we are back at the bottom of the 5th inning. Noonan still on the mound as he will face Weeks, Fetchick, and Muncie. And here is Dre Guinness.
All right, Jalen, thank you very much. We'll see what Eric Weeks can do against Cal Noonan as the first pitch poured on the outside corner for a strike, and the count goes 0-1. For Eric Weeks, flew out to right, grounded out to second, his last time up on a check swing. There's a fly ball out to left field, but Maharis circles under it. Easy play for him. He puts it away for the first out of the inning.
And again, that really doesn't help a situation where first pitch, 1 out. That's part of the reason why Noonan is still on the mound.
Heath Fetchick stands in. 0 for 2. He's flown out to center, flown out to left. First pitch fouled back. And, that one all the way back to the on-deck circle off the press box.
Now, I'm looking at my notes. A lot more action has been going on for the Ironbacks than it has been for the Tarp Skunks.
I saw there was a football game out there going a little bit earlier as that one misses for a ball. Count goes to 1-1. I think they just have someone warming up just in case. That one missing outside for a ball, 2-1. Could also just be a bullpen session. Because with the way Noonan's dealing, unless he's on a pitch, like a tight pitch count, see no reason to pull him yet. There's a breaking ball. That finds the zone, 2-2.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was a couple of people. It's just been stretching and tossing in the Ironbacks bullpen there.
They're stretching and tossing, and we're stressing and talking up here. 2-2. There's a high drive to left. Maharis going back. Warning track. Wall makes the catch just in front of the bull in the Merrill banner. And, oh, man, that one looked like it might have done some damage, but just died short.
Man, that was driven out to left field. Unfortunately, Maharis makes the catch at the warning track. I know Heath Fetchick wants that one back.
He gave it one heck of a ride here. Now with 2 outs, that's going to bring up Nate Muncie. Walked and singled. He takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0.
You see how quickly it is. Now 2 outs here. Almost going back to the top of the 6th very early.
No one missing inside, 2-0. If you ask me what the difference is between last week and even this week, I couldn't tell you. That one comes in for a strike, 2-1. I mean, I could speculate. I've got a couple ideas, but I mean, there's just really no definitive way to point your finger and say this is what's happening and this is what's happening. It's just a sequence of bad events. As that one is a swing and a miss on a pitch that would have been ball 3.
I do know there has been, I'd say a factor would be these last 3 weeks, just back-to-back games.
There's a ground ball up the middle, and Muncie on with a 2-out single. So Muncie continues to be one of the lone bright spots in the Tarp Skunks order today. 2 for 2, and that's going to bring up Jackson Enders.
And definitely him and JRC in most valuable stinker conversations for this game.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you at that point, on that point up to this point. Enders stands in, takes the first pitch he sees for a ball. For Enders, he's popped up to first base and struck out. He really needs to put a charge into one right now. He is definitely due. That one missing low, 2-0. And again, the Skunks finding themselves in a position where they have to try to build a 2-out rally.
Well, they've done that before.
2-0 popped up to right. Gallo tracks over, makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit. We go to the top of the 6th inning. 9-2 Ironbacks. As we go to the top of the 6th inning, 9-2 Ironbacks with the lead over the Tarp Skunks. New pitcher is Cohen Harris. His 4th appearance comes in with a record of 0-1, a 15.75 ERA in 4 innings pitched. He's given up 8 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And Joe Riedebach really needs him to have a good stretch here, as the Ironbacks have really been coming out here tonight with a purpose. 0-11 all-time against the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. They're looking to add that first win here tonight.
Well, like I said in the game, this is a team you cannot take lightly. Even though the Tarp Skunks have beat them twice this season, they did not make them easy at all.
First pitch misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Harris has had some moments of dominance and then just moments where things just completely fall off the rails here. So that one missing outside for a ball, 2-0. They really need him again to be able to come up and put some zeros, get them back into the dugout.
Yeah, because the Ironbacks are the ones that have been going back to the dugout very quickly.
That one's fouled back. And it's 2-1. The Tarp Skunks have had a couple, well, 1-2-3 inning. They've had a couple of quick innings. It's just that third and the fifth. Two-one pitch foul down the right field line into the Ironbacks bullpen. And quickly 2-2 from Cohen Harris.
One thing that I don't really see is how they use those foul balls. Those foul balls, in my opinion, how I see them, are free strikes. So if they put one foul, and that's less effort on you to get another strikeout.
There's a weak chopper toward third, picked up by Jordan. Throw on to first in time. And a nice play by Jordan to get the first out of the inning.
Third baseman, number 18, Cooper Martin.
That's going to bring up Cooper Martin, the Ironbacks third baseman. With one away, Martin 2 for 3 on the day. A couple singles, runs scored back in the third, flew out to right field his last time up. Harris, he's going to pitch from the stretch, and the first pitch, comes up and in. Buzzing the tower a little bit. And it's 1-0.
Cooper Martin has shown his dominance with a couple of singles.
1-0 pitch on the way. Check swing. Did he go? Appeal says no. And the count goes 2-0.
Yeah, I don't think Martin was very confident in that swing. That's why he held up on it.
Tarp Skunks off the next 3 days, back on the road on Tuesday as there's a foul down the third baseline.
It's like you said, those off days are going to be well deserved and well needed, especially for the games ahead.
You have to wonder, are they going to, some of the groups going to go to Cleveland or Pittsburgh? I don't even know who's playing at home around here. That one taken for a strike, 2-2. Not sure if the Guardians are at home, the Pirates are at home, or the Blue Jays are at home. It's only a 4-hour drive to Toronto from here.
The Blue Jays are in Chicago right now playing the Cubs as they just lost 16-3.
Oh, that answers that. There's a foul down the third base line again, and we'll stay 2-2.
Like I said, those foul balls, how I see it, is free strikes. So just keep putting the ball in the zone.
I wonder if anyone's going to watch the World Cup tomorrow.
Depends on who's playing and if I'll watch.
I know the U.S. won today 2-0 over Australia. Swing and a miss. And Harris with a strikeout. 2 down now as Martin goes down swinging. That's going to bring up the third place hitter, the first baseman, Ronan Glassford.
That was a strikeout that was well needed and well deserved.
And that 2-0 win in the World Cup over Australia. Apparently Australia had a own goal. That was the first pitch to Glassford taken for a strike.
No matter where you're from, where you come from, or who you're cheering for, I love how the World Cup, whether you watch soccer or not, how that brings people together. Because even in the professional other games, they were showing the scores to the World Cup games. During the finals, they were showing it.
Is that one just outside for a ball? And the count goes 2-1. I understand why they do it every 4 years. I almost would like to see it done like maybe every 3 years just to get it off the Olympic cycle. So that one's fouled back 2-2.
The World Cup, though, it's how the players treat it. The World Cup is more important to the Olympics. The Olympics, you're not really going to see that many good players then. But
No,
now,
I just meant off the 4-year cycle, because you only get this once every 4 years.
that is true.
There's a pop up to left field. Traumer underneath it. And a quick 1-2-3 for Cohen Harris. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still 9-2. Nine-2 Ironbacks as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. There is a new Ironbacks pitcher on the mound, right-handed Seth Morrison. That's his 5th appearance, comes in with a 1-0 record, 5.54 ERA in 13 innings, 15 hits allowed, 8 hits, 8 runs, all earned, 4 walks against 5 strikeouts. So Cal Noonan's day is over, and he had a pretty spectacular day. 5 innings pitched, 2 runs, 5 hits. And as of right now, in line for the win. Struck out 2, walked 3, and did it all on 83 pitches. As Caleb Jordan stands in, he will lead it off along with Anthony Trummer and JRC. Tarp Skunks need to figure out a way to get some runs in. Newark and Geneva postponed at McDonough Park today. Auburn with a 6-1 lead over the Olean Oilers, and Batavia with a 5-1 lead over the Niagara Falls Americans. As the first pitch to Jordan. One hopper picked at first base by Glafford, and quickly there is one away.
And again, another inning, and the first pitch, and then there's an out. That is like the 3rd inning that has happened.
And off of a new pitcher, that's almost inexcusable at this point. Because when you have a new pitcher and you're leading off the inning, your responsibilities, you need to take pitches to let the people behind you see what they're going to be dealt. As Tromer, a huge swing and a miss. It looked like he was trying to get out to the fence. Not a lot of wind here tonight, so the ball's hit out to the outfield. Don't have a lot of push to them.
There may be a little bit of frustration seeing that you're down by 7, and they're trying to swing and put one in play.
Trying to do too much. 0-2 count on the way. There's a ground ball up the middle, and that is going to be a base hit for Anthony Tromer. 1-out single. And that's going to bring up JRC, who's already 2 for 2 on the day.
And he's getting himself quite a day, like you said. In a time like this, you got your couple of shiners.
He's starting to heat up here. First pitch, way up high for a ball, 1-0.
Now, if you're trying to chew away at this deficit that you have, Trummer should be thinking about stealing here.
Throw over to first. And Traumer's back. I disagree. I really do. When you're down 7 runs with 1 out, in the middle part of the ball game, the last thing you want to do is run into outs.
That was something that happened last game.
Swing and a miss. And the count evens up at 1 apiece.
Getting called out at second and third. Those were some things that we have saw.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, I mean, I understand where you're coming from on the aggression standpoint, but probably just not the right time, not the right run differential.
Yeah, I do get that, but JRC has been finding it here. I want to help him out there.
Swing and a miss there, and so JRC down 1-2. The last thing you also want to do, too, is you don't want to take the bat out of JRC's hand. That one missing outside, 2-2 the count.
That is also true.
There's a pop foul right above the press box. And we'll do 2-2 all over again.
Still remembering that one that came just below this window.
That one up high, 3-2, and JRC works the count full. Yeah, yesterday, one landed right underneath the boom mic that we have here, or where the boom mic would have been if we had had our normal mixer. 3-2, that one popped up foul behind us. And I felt about 15 years and 18 gray hair come off.
Just saw pictures of your life flashing before your eyes.
3-2, runner goes, and JRC draws a walk here with 1 out. That'll put runners at first and second for Tito Kiefer.
Second baseman, number 1, Tito Kiefer.
For Kiefer walked and struck out. Third baseman coming in, 1 foot on the infield grass. There's a check swing foul.
That one, that was accidentally fouled. He was checking the swing and the ball found the bat.
Yeah. Martin playing in at third, trying to take away the bunt. I don't think there's any bunt intentions here. There's a big gap on the right side of the infield. So that one down low for a ball, 1-1.
Yeah, Gallo is in shallow right. Rashad in normal depth.
Something hard down that right field line is going to be easily 3 bags.
Or the gap in left center.
That one fouled off to the right and quickly goes to 1-2. Well, with where Gallo is playing, anything on a line down that line he's going to have to chase after it.
That could be a triple for Tito Kiefer. He has that speed.
It's 342 down that line. And the 1-2 in the dirt. Good stop by Cutler. And the count evens at 2 apiece. Grant Moore on deck. And the 2-2. There's a chopper toward third. Picked up to second for 1. On to first. Double play. And the inning is over. Rally wiped out off the double play. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Still 9-2. Top of the 7th inning, Cohen Harris back on the mound for his second inning of work. He will face 4, 5, 6 due up for the Ironbacks, Cutler, Bullock, and Maharis. And here to tell you about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Finally got my innings back. I love being back in the swing of things here.
It is kind of weird, you know, when after you do play-by-play for 2 and then you have to back off to color. I experience that all the time myself.
Yeah, because of me.
No, it's just it's like a ball player. You find yourself getting into a rhythm, and then that rhythm is interrupted.
That one fouled high and behind into the concourse area. It was a high foul ball, too. So now the count is 0-1. That one driven into center field. That will be a base hit for Kieran Cutler. So mark that down for him. And that one's going to bring in Joshua Bullock.
Yeah, that was just a matter of a C-ball, fastball, hit ball, fastball up the middle. And, you know, the one thing the Ironbacks have been doing here tonight, and I can't say the same thing for the Skunks, is they're just not trying to do too much with what they're given. They're just putting on nice, easy swings and finding holes.
That one misses for a ball. 1-0. Yeah, it's almost like a little bit of confidence when they're at bats. The Tarp Skunks, it's almost like they're trying, they have a mission to what you do, but you don't want to make that obvious. Runner goes. That one driven out to left center field. And Traumer makes the catch. Runner goes back to first. And so now it is 1 away here.
Yeah, it's a good thing Traumer was able to get over there. That ball just hanging up there. A lot of backspin on it. Traumer able to get under there. If that ball had gotten down, that would have been easily second and third, if not more.
So that's going to bring in William Maharis. He's got a K, a single, and hit by a pitch. He's also come around to score twice. That one misses for a ball. Ironbacks with 9 runs on 10 hits, no errors. Here in the top of the 7th, that one driven out to right field. Weeks coming in, makes the catch for the out, and so there are 2 away.
Harris not letting that leadoff single get into his head at all. But not changing his approach either. He's just coming back with the same stuff that the Ironbacks don't really have much of an answer for so far.
But again, sometimes it's simple. Just make them make a play. Sometimes you just got to rely on your position players. That one's in the dirt. Heath Fetchick blocks it, keeps it in front. So the count is 1-0. So Cutler at first. 2 gone here. And that one in there for a strike. 1-1.
And that one hit the back of Fetchick's catcher's glove with authority. Nice loud snap.
And that shows you that that one has some heat on it. That one in the dirt. Fetchick being able to scoop it. 2-1 the count. As we enter the 7th frame, Ironbacks put 9 runs. Tarp Skunks 2. That one is outside for a ball. 3-1 the count. There's Jordan Gallo facing a 3-1 count. Jordan Spindless on deck. That one in there for a strike. And Gallo thought that was ball 4.
Gallo tried to sell that like it was ball 4. Did not work.
Now full count here. Strike can get him out of the inning. Runner goes. That one driven out to center field. Moore coming in on it. It makes the catch. And that'll do it for the Ironbacks, but 1 hit, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is still 9-2. And here we are, the bottom of the 7th. Morrison is going to face Grant Moore, Weeks, and Fetchick. As there's a substitution, 8 for 12.
That's easy for them to say. So Caleb Locatelli in for Jordan Gallo in right field.
That one inside for a ball. 1-0 the count.
And if you remember the last time the Ironbacks were here on Saturday, Locatelli had to come out of the game doing an injury trying to dive for a ball.
That one fouled on the left side. And yeah, those are the things that can be scary. We saw it with Blake Herman. You know, injuries can happen. So 1-1 to Grant Moore. That one inside for a ball. 2-1 to Grant Moore. Grant Moore flew it out and had a single. Also drew a walk in his last at bat. That one inside catches the zone for a strike. 2-2. That one popped up. Third base calls for it and makes the catch for the outs. So Cooper Martin gets the call for the out, and that's going to bring in Eric Weeks.
And Martin let everybody know that he had it. Wasn't leaving that one a chance.
And Weeks, he is 0 for 3. Flew out to right, grounded out to second, and flew out to left. That one misses for a ball. 1-0. You know, the one thing about the Tarp Skunks is I will give them credit. They are not easy to strike out. They're going to put the ball in play. They're not going to strike out. That one in there, a delayed call, called strike.
You're not wrong about that. Only 2 strikeouts in the game for the Skunks. So at least they're swinging the bat. They're going down fighting.
That one fouled. Oh, no, that's in. That's fair. And here he goes on the way to second. And so there you go. Eric Weeks gets himself a double down the left field line. I thought that one was foul, but that one just hung fair.
Well, that one down the third base line took a weird hop and either went off the glove or off the wrist of Martin at third and shot all the way over to the fence. I mean, I'll give Martin a ton of credit for even getting his glove on the ball. That was a pretty sharply hit ground ball.
That's going to bring in the catcher, Heath Fetchick. And Fetchick has 3 flyouts to his name. And a swing and a miss by Fetchick. 0-1 the count.
7th hit for the Tarp Skunks in this game. They've only been able to drive in 2 runs all the way back in the 2nd inning.
You know, usually you don't see that. Tarp Skunks usually have more runs than they do hits. That one catches the zone for a strike. 0-2. You know, even though the score is 9-2, they are still has a lot of hits. And Weeks on the run, hits to center field. Prashad makes the catch, throw to second, and Weeks is out. So that is a bang play. That'll end the inning. Tarp Skunks go down. It is still 9-2. We are back here at Russell E. Diethrich Park. Here in the top of the 8th. Ironbacks up 9-2. Harris still in the game. He will face Svindalus, Bedrosian, and Griffin. And to lead it off is Svindalus. Svindalus has a couple of singles and a double. He watches the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 the count.
Along with 3 RBIs to go with it. 5-1 Batavia over Niagara Falls at Dwyer Stadium. Double days with a 9-1 lead in Olean over the Oilers.
That one for a ball.
And Newark and Geneva postponed for reasons. What they are, inquiring minds want to know.
That one's outside for a ball. I thought that was 3-1, but umpire motions 2-1. You know, for that Geneva game, it's most likely going to be. It might be the field. A swing and a miss by Svindalus, and so now the count is even 2-2.
Someone down there was really excited about strike 2.
That was a big swing, though. And that one gets past Heath Fetchick. Was outside for a ball, 3-2.
You know what I noticed back on Wednesday against Olean? No pass balls on either side. No wild pitches, no pass balls.
That one fouled on the left side, and we'll do the full count again.
It's very rare to have that clean of a ball game from both pitchers.
It is really good. But now we're seeing quite the opposite. But however, though, in this game, no errors for either team.
And that's an oddity as well.
That one up and inside for a ball. And so, first base runner is Svindelis, and that will bring in Bryce Bedrosian.
Svindelis has been on base all 4 times he has been up today. Officially 3 for 3 with 3 RBI.
Yeah, he is the one that has been seeing the ball pretty well today. That one in there for a strike. And Svindelis has gotten a hit on almost all 3 pitchers that have been to the mound for the Tarp Skunks. That one hits the dirt, throw to first, not in time. Heath trying to keep Svindelis honest at first.
And then for Bedrosian, grounded out to first base unassisted twice and struck out looking, sandwiched in between that. So if he sticks to pattern, he should strike out looking here.
A swing and a miss.
Although Cohen Harris right now would just settle for a strikeout, period.
That would help a lot in their efforts right now. If I'm not mistaken, in most of these innings, Ironbacks had a base runner.
Oh, where'd that miss?
That one was a close play, but that one misses the zone 2-2. It's a good frame drop by Heath Fetchick.
They've only had 2 innings where they haven't had a runner on base. That was the 4th and the 6th.
That one misses, and so now we'll see a full count again. 3-2, this time to Bedrosian.
And there is action in the Skunks bullpen.
You know, at this point, would you think that Joe Riddebach is going to put a middle relief that hasn't got any time? Runner goes, throws a second, not in time. Oh, no, he's out! So they got him!
Wow, strike him out, throw him out, double play. You don't see that very often down here, and credit to not only Harris for throwing a beauty on the outside corner, but for Fetchick to even get that ball down to second base, and what a tag by Kiefer at short.
So the bang-bang play, and just like that, bases are clear with 2 away. That's going to bring in Griffin. So the first pitch is a ball. But as I was saying before the bang-bang play, would you think that Joe Riedebach is going to put a middle reliever that hasn't got any playing time that much yet?
Depends. You know, it could be a just in case. It could be to get someone who hasn't had much time out there in, well, I hate to use the term garbage time, but that's kind of where it's at right now. Unless the Skunks can really figure out a way to put some runs on the board here.
That one foul down the left side. So now it's 2-1 the count. To Franklin Griffin. And like I said, you don't hate to use the word garbage time, but it's kind of what it is right now. So that one is foul behind, and so now the count is even 2-2.
As some really dark clouds out in the distance start rolling in over the horizon.
We're top of the 8th. We most likely been getting this game in. Is that one in there? Strike 3. And Franklin Griffin sat down, and that'll do it for the Ironbacks. Nothing doing it. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It is still 9-2. And welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrich Park as Muncie Enders Jordan will be the ones to do it. It's that one. Drooper back up the middle, throw to first, and that one gets away from the first baseman. And so that one. And wait, he called him out? What? How? What? And I don't. So they made. And Joe Riedebach is not happy with that one.
I'm not happy with that one. How?
My only two guesses are.
Oh, I think I know why they called him out, because the way he turned toward the bag at second, not to the right. Oh, that is, I mean, at this point, am I surprised at what we're seeing here? Absolutely not.
So with that, he's going to bring in Jackson Enders. So what would that be called? Would that just be a call to tag out?
Well, I mean, we're still waiting to see if they were going to give him an error on the play or a base hit.
Well, that one is back up the middle. Svindelis throws to first, and just like that, quickly 2 away on 2 pitches.
And I mean, I have to give him an error. But an error and a tag out, so E1 and then 3 unassisted on that one?
I'm just going to bring in the third baseman, Caleb Jordan, and watches that one inside and low for a ball. Yeah, that might have been the turn to second base.
But the thing is, you know, the first baseman,
that one in their first strike,
was in his way. You know, I don't think it was an intentional turn to second base. I think it was just due to trying to avoid contact, but it is what it is.
Check swing did not go around. It is ball 2. Well, they haven't given the error, but they haven't given a hit either.
Yeah, they're probably discussing it.
That one driven out to right field, and Locatelli right under it makes the catch for the out. So, Tarp Skunks go down 1-2-3, and yeah, so it will be 9-2 here at the top of the ninth. And welcome back here. Ironbacks up 9-2. New pitcher for the Tarp Skunks, as it'll be Reno Spagnoli. He will face top of the lineup Prashad, Martin, and Glassford. And here to tell you all about it and give the splits for Spagnoli, it is Dre Guinness.
All right, thank you very much, Jalen. As we do go to the top of the ninth inning, Reno Spagnoli on the mound to try to get out of this ninth inning. He's his third appearance. No record with a 33.75 ERA. 1 1/3 innings complete. 2 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 5 walks, and no strikeouts. So a tall order here for Spagnoli. 7-run lead for the Ironbacks. As London Prashad stands in. For Prashad, he is 0 for 4 today, so one of the few Ironbacks who have not joined in on the hit parade. Or at least the on-base parade. First pitch from Spagnoli, missing outside for a ball, 1-0.
Hasn't got on base. He hasn't even gotten a walk. That is, in this game, you haven't seen.
Tarp Skunks off tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. They'll be in Niagara Falls on Tuesday as that misses for a ball, 2-0.
That'll be good.
Then off,
recharge.
Yeah, then off on Wednesday and back home for Batavia.
And next week isn't going to be easy either.
Well, next week's going to really show the true character of this team, I think. How they bounce back from adversity. And after this week, I mean, I want to forget this week.
It's been tough.
Doubleheader against Elmira rained out. Haven't gotten the reschedule dates on that yet. 3-0 right in the strike zone for a strike, 3-1. Then the game at Newark where a 12-2 lead blown late, having to score 8 runs in the ninth inning to beat the Pilots. There's a ground ball to third on the short hop, picked up by Jordan, throwing to first over the head of Muncie. That's going to be an error, and Prashad's going to run for a while as Fetchik having to run about 130 feet to track that one down. So you said it. Hadn't seen an error the entire game, and the announcer curse lives.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said anything. But to be honest, though, in this league, even if I didn't say anything, errors are happening.
And that's going to bring up Cooper Martin now. And then Spagnoli kicks and throws. First pitch taken for a strike, 1-0. I can tell you one thing I've noticed from Spagnoli from his first 2 appearances is definitely finding the zone or a lot closer to it. So that one's popped straight up. Muncie gives way to Kiefer at second and a quick pop-up. And there is one away.
You know, the Spagnoli, he's been throwing pretty fast to start out his outing. And those contact hits just haven't been solid.
As Ronan Glassford, third place hitter, comes up. First baseman 0 for 3 on the day with a walk. First pitch he sees, and that one is taken for a strike, 0-1. Next Thursday here, it's free ticket night, sponsored by Jamestown Community College. Free admission, so come on down on community buyout night as that one misses for a ball. 1-1. And then Saturday, June 27th, Kids Camp, presented by Builders Exchange of the State and University Healthcare System. So it's a fun afternoon as that one's fouled off, and it's now 1-2. Kids getting instruction in the afternoon and then coming out for the ball game that evening.
Gotta like how every home game is an event.
Love it. The way Christian Doltz, the general manager, handles his business and sets all this up.
That's why we have good turnouts. Always gonna make the fans feel welcome.
It's times like this I wish I actually had the front office phone number here so I could do the pub. As there's a foul off to the left-hand side, giving chase is Tromer, but that was way out of his range as it lands foul, and will quickly do 2-2.
You know, talk about this ominous feeling of these black clouds starting to roll in.
Is it me, or am I the only one looking at these clouds that has the Star Wars Imperial March in my head?
You know, now that you have said it, in my mind I hear the theme song.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. 2-2. And the pitch. That one misses for a ball. 3-2.
It's almost like the clouds look like they're about to invade this ball game.
It's almost like the clouds looking to put a tarp over the field here. 3-2. Called strike 3. Spagnoli finding the outer edge of the strike zone, picks up his first strikeout of the season. And now 2 away here. That's going to bring up Kieran Cutler.
And Kieran Cutler hit by pitch twice, came around to score. He's popped up to second and got a single.
Spagnoli, he's throwing some serious gas out there today. That one just missing for a ball. 1-0.
We usually don't see pitchers kick like that.
1-0 pitch. There's a fly ball into center. Moore coming in on it. He's going to have to play it on the bounce. That is going to be a base hit coming in all the way from second. And scoring is Prashad, and it is now 10-2. That's going to be an unearned run, so...
Wait, why would that be unearned?
Because the base runner getting on base via an error.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the one, Muncie. Or the throwing.
Yep. So now Joshua Bullock stands in. First pitch he sees. And did that miss for a ball?
I think it did. I didn't hear a strike.
1-1, that one missing. That's 2-0. Snap back over to first on a ball. Not in time. And the count goes 3-0. Fetchick trying to get Cutler sleeping out there.
You know, Heath Fetchick, his pop-up time is pretty fast.
3-0. And that missed somewhere for a ball 4.
Yeah, I don't know where that missed. That was pretty close, but he was given a ball 4 anyway.
Now with 2 on, 2 out, that's going to bring up William Maharis. 1 for 3 officially today. A strikeout, flew out to right field, singled, scored a run with an RBI, and was hit by a pitch and scored a run. So an eventful day for him today. The first pitch swung on a miss, did a ball in the dirt. A 1 pitch missing outside for ball 2, or make it 1-1. Locatelli on deck. He would hit for the first time tonight. If the inning can get extended here, that pitch gets behind Fetchick, goes all the way to the backstop. Count goes to 2-1. And now there's runners at second and third. So now 2-1. Here's the pitch. Fastball low, 3-1. And then Spagnoli doesn't even bother checking the runners, kicks and throws that one on the outside corner. And he has walked the bases loaded with 2 outs here.
He's going to need to... he's going to need to fight back here. He just needs 1 out to get out of the inning here.
As Caleb Locatelli comes up, bases loaded, 2 outs here. And the first pitch, swing and a miss. And it's 0-1.
Infielders playing back.
Well, Moore's playing straight away. Trommer out and left, definitely playing back. Weeks playing in a little bit as that one swung on and missed. 0-2. Weeks is probably playing right in the right position out in right field. A little bit shallow. Shaded toward the first base side just in case something goes opposite field. And the 0-2 pitch. That one's called strike 3. And the side is retired, but a run comes in on a hit. A couple, 3 runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Tarp Skunks. It's 10-2. As we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Tarp Skunks will send up Trommer, JRC, and Tito Kiefer to try to keep this game alive. Tarp Skunks down 8, 10-2. That's the Niagara Ironbacks looking to get their first ever win over the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. I'd like to remind you that off for the next 3 days, back on the road in Niagara Falls on Tuesday, but we're back here for Community Buyout Night. Free tickets Thursday, June 25th, 6:30 p.m., presented by Jamestown Community College. And, looking back at the most valuable stinker conversation here tonight, I think you and I have both kind of settled on JRC and Nate Muncy sharing that honor here tonight.
Yep, how they were able to get on base. JRC, the one being able to drive in the runs.
First pitch, missing for a ball, 1-0.
JRC being able to drive in those runs. Nate Muncy being able to get on base. Those are the two that pretty much have shined.
New Ironback pitcher is Nick Hayes, and he quickly goes 2-0.
Yeah, he's
to Trommer.
He's throwing all that speed, so it's pretty much going to be it for that. Yeah, he's getting the close here.
Yeah, they're setting up some fireworks somewhere outside the stadium. So that one's fouled back, 2-1.
Well, you know how it is. People getting their 4th of July on 3 weeks before.
Yeah. No. I mean, heck, we start selling Christmas stuff in August. Surprised the pumpkin spice stuff hasn't started yet. There's a line drive too short. One hopper picked up by Griffin. Throw on to first in time. Nice play at by Griffin at short. And there's one away.
That was a pretty hard hit, but just into the grasp of Griffin.
So now JRC stands in. Officially 2 for 2 on the day with a walk, a couple of singles, and a stolen base. If I sound surprised, it's because I am. Would not have had JRC stealing on my bingo card today. Is the first pitch taken for a strike? 0-1.
Well, if JRC had a side quest, he did now. It's probably an unknown achievement unlocked, like you said, back in the second inning.
And JRC, nice take there. You could see he was poised and cranking up to take a swing at that one. Held up at a ball in the dirt. Count goes to 1-1.
I noticed from JRC, he doesn't really pull some of these pitches. He did pull one to get a single, but he doesn't really pull.
Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 1-2. Is it 1-2 or 2-1? I'm a little lost. Well, that one misses. And it looks like it is 2-2. Hayes with a long look in, kicks and throws. And a breaking ball just comes inside. 3-2. Good take by JRC.
Ooh, that was stone cold take. That was as close as it gets.
So now 3-2. And the pitch. So again, there's a drive down the right field line, hooking foul. And that one was headed toward the Lafayette corners, but just a little bit too much hook on it.
And there he goes. He pulled one. Unfortunately, he pulled one fouled.
A lot of Locatelli up there out in right field. Now he's playing way back. 3-2, called strike 3. And there are 2 down here. And the Tarp Skunks down to their final out here as Tito Kiefer will come up. He has walked, struck out looking, and grounded into a inning double play back in the 6th. First pitch in the dirt for a ball, and the count goes 1-0. And the pitch. That one taken for a strike, 1-1. As the Skunks 1 out away from dropping their 3rd straight. There's a foul off, and the Skunks are down to their final strike of the ball game.
That is something that's going to be frustrating, and it's going to be hard to preface. Dropping their 3rd straight game. That's a team, and this is a team that you wouldn't have thought that was going to happen to, but it's on the verge of happening now.
What a difference a week makes. What a difference Eric Weeks makes, but what a different a week makes.
But that's the thing. It happens to the best of them.
No. 2-2. And the pitch. That one just missed. 3-2. And I give credit to the home plate umpire. I could see the temptation of wanting to call that 3rd strike to go home, but does not. Kudos to him. And 3-2. And the 3-2. Inside for a ball. So Kiefer keeps it alive with a 2-out walk, and we're going to go top of the order with Grant Moore.
Yeah, that definitely did keep the at-bat alive, but now Grant Moore finds himself in this position again. Game on the line with 2 outs and 1 on.
Glassford at first, not even bothering holding on Kiefer. I would doubt that they're going to even worry about him. As there's a flare out to left field. That one is going to be caught on the dive by Maharis in left field, and the ball game is over. The Niagara Ironbacks pick up their first career franchise win over the Jamestown Tarp Skunks by a final score of 10-2. Reminder, we're on the road at Niagara Falls on Tuesday, 6:30 here on the Tarp Skunks YouTube. And we're back here on Thursday for Community Buyout Night presented by Jamestown Community College as the Batavia Muck Dogs come into town to take on your Jamestown Tarp Skunks. For Jalen Ferguson, I'm Dre Guinness. Until next time, we thank you very much for joining us and wish you a very good night, everybody.